Federal government activates emergency protocols, begins evacuation of Nigerians from Lebanon. Anglican primate Henry Danga commends federal government efforts to engage youth. Flood alerts. Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission advises residents of plains in flood-prone areas in Enugu State. Hello and welcome to the news desk at 3 on Nta News24. We are live in Abuja. I'm Olajide Bello. Federal government says it has activated emergency protocols to ensure the swift and safe evacuation of Nigerians back home from Lebanon as soon as possible following the escalating conflicts between Israel and Hezbollah. Spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Eche Abu Obe, in a statement says presently about 500 Nigerians have registered with the Nigerian mission in Lebanon. However, there are more than 2,000 Nigerian citizens residing in the country. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs explains that the Nigerian embassy in Beirut has been issuing several advisories since the conflict started for citizens to stay indoors and follow local authorities' instructions, and appeals to those who have not registered with the embassy to do so through the email info@mfa.gov.ng. The Foreign Affairs Ministry is coordinating the evacuation exercise to ensure the safe return of Nigerians from that country. Troops of the Nigerian Armed Forces have rescued 96 kidnapped victims, eliminated 118 and arrested 97 terrorists. In a statement, the Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, says troops in the south region of the country also recovered 87 assaulted weapons and 2,244 assaulted ammunition within the last 7 days. The Defense Headquarters assured that the armed forces will continue to develop strategies to defend the country and protect citizens from security threats. The federal government has been commended for significant strides in the war against banditry and insurgency in the Northwest. Speaking to newsmen on the positive collaborations which have led to the elimination of various terrorist kingpins, Senator representing Kaduna Central in the 8th Senate, Shehu Sani, called for sustenance of the momentum, urging defense chiefs, the Minister of State for Defense, and the National Security Advisor not to be distracted by unscrupulous elements. He also spoke on specific roles of both the Senate and the House of Representatives.
Of these terrorists. And in the last 1.5 years, we must appreciate the fact that many of these terrorists and bandit leaders in the Northwest have been eliminated. Let's appreciate the fact that there are improvements we can see on the ground today, because the Office of National Security Advisor, led by Nuribadu, and the Chief of Defense Staff, and particularly the presence of the Minister of State for Defense with his movement to Sokoto State, we can see that there is a serious decline in terms of reports of mass abductions as we used to see them in the past. The Constitution of the country and the National Assembly has given the Senate the exclusive responsibility to approve the political appointments of Mr. President, and not to the House of Reps. But there can't be any law in the country without the two houses concurring.
In furtherance of the drive to actualize his command philosophy of transforming the Nigerian Air Force for greater agility and resilience to effectively Project Air Pie, meeting all national security imperatives. The Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, conducted an operational tour of NAF units in Enugu and Port Harcourt. Deputy Director Public Relations and Information, Group Captain Kabir Ali, indicates that the purpose of the visit was to evaluate operational readiness and infrastructural development of the units with a view to enhancing their efficiency and effectiveness. In Enugu, the Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar visited the 405 Helicopter Combat Training Group and the International Helicopter Flying School to inspect various facilities, and also interacted with personnel and discussed ways to improve operational performance. He emphasized the importance of maintaining high levels of preparedness to meet current and emerging security challenges, reiterating his commitment to implementing developmental projects and procuring critical service facilities that would elevate the standards of the unit. Air Marshal Abubakar extended the tour to 115 Special Operations Group in Port Harcourt, reiterating the same mission of assessing operational readiness and identifying areas for infrastructural upgrades. The operational visit underscores Air Marshal Abubakar's unrelenting determination to improve the NAF's air power capabilities through strategic infrastructural enhancement, as well as robust operational, logistical and welfare support. In a show of support for the nation's youth and economic resilience, the primate Anglican Communion, Most Reverend Henry Ndikuba, has lauded President Bola Tinubu's recent initiatives to engage with Nigerian youth. This comes in response to the President's Independence Day broadcast, which emphasized the need for youth participation in national development. The primate praised President Tinubu's renewed efforts to reach out to the Nigerian youth, a demographic he said has been hit significantly by the country's ongoing economic reforms.
Is a move in the right direction. The young people may not have been empowered enough, so we want to encourage and we assure the President of our support in this direction.
Meanwhile, in her own address, the primate's wife, who also serves as president of the church's women organization, emphasized the importance of ensuring food security. She urged every citizen to play a role in addressing the pressing issue of food shortages.
Food production should not be left to rural dwellers. Women are encouraged to continue to engage in farming, even if it's only around your house.
The church leadership messages align with the government's efforts to stabilize the economy and enhance social welfare. In its urban renewal drive, the Enugu State Government has begun implementation of remodeling major markets in Aba to give the commercial city a facelift. The latest action is the demolition of Ekeoha Shopping Center. Ikechukwu Ndukwe reports.
Ekeoha Market, known by many as shopping center, predates the creation of Abia State. Located at the heart of the commercial city, several views of the original plan of the mall has become a source of worry as integrity tests of the building can no longer be guaranteed.
When you visit Ekeoha Market, which is shopping center, cemetery, Ayohora and Ariaria, the gory state of these infrastructures is too depicting. In fact, it's too shameful to behold. Can you imagine that some people travel all the way from Enugu to Port Harcourt to purchase goods that were bought in Aba down to Port Harcourt because of the gory state of the market?
From the video I see about the market, when completed, it will compete favorably with the best global standardized markets in the other parts of the world.
The demolition exercise by state government, therefore, is to pave way for its remodeling as parts of the building keeps cracking and falling despite reinforcements at different times.
3 or 4 places have fallen due to the excess of the goods inside the and also the structure of the shops. And if you watch around the market, you will see that the structure of the market is not valuable at all.
I have shops inside the market, but I'm very happy. It's only this governor that can do it.
Ekeoha Market deals primarily on clothing. Ikechukundukwe, Nta News.
Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission, HYPODEC, has urged residents living on floodplains in flood-prone local government areas in Kogi State to relocate to higher ground. The call is part of efforts to prevent another occurrence of past flood events. Solomon Ayedeyin reports.
Anxiety spreads in Kogi State as the water levels of the Niger and Benue rivers continue to rise. The communities living along the riverbanks prepare for what appears to be an unavoidable disaster. In Kogi local government area, Edeha and other riverine communities are already submerged, leaving residents displaced.
What we're dealing with here is numerous villages. It's quite a chunk of communities.
In response to this threat, the Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission, HYPODEC, has taken action. Engaging with local leaders and stakeholders, the commission launched a flood sensitization campaign. The first stop was the palace of the Ohimegeigu of Kotonkarfe, His Royal Majesty Seidu Akau Salihu, where district and community heads from vulnerable areas gathered. The managing director of HYPODEC, Abubakar Yelwa, represented by the Director of Administration and Finance, Jimo Gabi, delivered a message urging immediate relocation to higher ground to minimize the impact of the coming flood.
The flood is here, and we should do all it takes to make sure it's seamless all through the joining of flood in our communities.
From Kotonkarfe, the HYPODEC's team moved to the palace of the Megeri of Lokoja, seeking the royal father's support in spreading the message to his subjects, especially those in remote areas. The officials also met with key stakeholders before heading to Pata Market, an area vulnerable to flooding. Here, HYPODEC emphasized the need for action, recalling the destruction caused by the floods of 2012 and 2022. A similar message was delivered at the palace of the Atai Gala in Ida, where Alhaji Jimo Gabi reaffirmed HYPODEC's commitment to the safety of the people. The commission plans to conduct a needs assessment and community mapping within the next 2 weeks, urging cooperation from the residents to ensure the success of the program. In Lokoja, Solomon Ayedehi, Nta News.
With the tilt towards farming and meeting the food needs in the society, NTA Yenagoa is partnering the Bayelsa State Ministry of Agriculture for the cultivation of the station's vast land. General Manager NTA Yenagoa Daju White, who received the State Commissioner for Agriculture on an assessment visit to NTA, says the vision of the ministry is to turn every available land to farms in order to boost food production in the state. Aya Prezi reports.
Food security is a major key to national development, as it takes well-fed and healthy citizenry to contribute to nation building. This explains the necessity of farming as a veritable tool for food production and security. Conscious of the Prosperity Administration's vision of assured hope, which has agriculture as one of the pillars, NTA Yenagoa management team, led by Dauji White, sought partnership with the State Ministry of Agriculture for the meaningful cultivation of the station's vast land to boost food production and attain sufficiency.
I'm looking at rice farming and also aquaculture, fishing because the terrain will be very, very useful.
Bayelsa State Commissioner for Agriculture, Professor Beke Sese, on a tour of the land, expressed satisfaction with its agricultural potential and promises to make the necessary investments in line with the vision of the Prosperity Administration to enhance food production in Bayelsa State.
And I've taken time to look at the land, and my engineers have told me we can use the place. So we'll go back and do a proper assessment. We must respect government funds. We must also respect the professionalism of agriculture. The Ministry of Agriculture and Natural Resources is a professional ministry, so we must do things professionally.
The commissioner, who assures genuine farmers of necessary support, however, reiterates the fact that portfolio farmers have no place in the plan of the state government. In Yenagoa, Aya Prezi, Nta News.
This is the news desk at 3 on Nta News24. Let's take a break now. More reports when we return. Thanks for being there. Yanya Battalion Council of Boys Brigade Nigeria has celebrated an impressive milestone marking the 141st Founders' Day of the Boys Brigade. The ceremony also brought to the fore the need to promote discipline, obedience and Christian manliness among young boys. Ekene Ndulwe reports.
It was Founders' Day, a celebration steeped in history, marking 141 years since Sir William Alexander Smith founded the Boys Brigade in Glasgow, Scotland. The parade ground buzzed with energy as young boys in crisp uniforms gathered. The band displayed and rhythmic movements of boots, a testament to the values of discipline and unity that the brigade instills in its members.
You can't find such a parade anywhere except in the military. So what does that imply? Any person who is leaving the Boys Brigade that wants to join any paramilitary or military, he will excel.
Indoctrinated in the way of the Lord. So the future is we'll have honest leaders, hardworking leaders, smart leaders, and people that if given opportunity, they will do whatever they do as unto the Lord.
Minister of Special Duties Zephaniah Bitrus Gisalo joined the Boys Brigade at the age of 8, and he is proud of how the organization develops young ones.
And the purpose of funding the Boys Brigade is because of the youth, so that there should be resilience, training to work for God, and that is why today, some of us today will pass through this institution. I'm a Boys Brigade member even when I was just 8 years, and today I'm still a Boys Brigade member.
The day also saw the launching of the organization's magazine, a collection that echoes the hopes and dreams of those who came before. In Abuja, Ekene Ndulwe, NTA News.
The federal government has mapped out the sum of 254 million naira for the revamping of healthcare facilities in Enugu State. The Executive Director, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Muyi Aino, disclosed this during a working visit to Enugu. Chika Ugu reports.
Inspecting health facilities at the Enugu Zonal Office, the Executive Director, Primary Healthcare Development Agency said one of the fundamental priorities of President Ahmed Bola Tinubu's administration is to improve the health sector, especially the primary health centers. He said Enugu State is one of the beneficiaries of the ongoing revitalization of primary health care facilities across the country, noting that the agency has completed assessment of 253 health facilities in the state.
We were able to make important decisions that will really move forward primary healthcare services in Enugu State. The state is already doing a lot. We're also supporting that in terms of revitalizing the primary health centers to make them better.
Earlier on arrival, the Executive Director had paid a courtesy visit to Governor Peter Mba, where he applauded the ongoing construction of 260 Type 2 healthcare centers, as well as the state government's promptness in releasing counterpart funding. Appreciative of the federal government's intervention in primary health care in the state, Governor Mba said his administration has put modalities in place to ensure universal health coverage.
A lot of what we see in terms of programs and projects from the federal government are quite in sync with our governance philosophy.
The visit to Enugu was geared towards strengthening partnership with the state government to ensure quality and affordable health care delivery. In Enugu, Chika Ugu, NTA News.
Still in the core cities, as part of its efforts to rid the state of criminality, the Enugu State Government has demolished a property linked to kidnapping activities in Agu local government area. Chika Ugu reports that landowners were advised to be mindful of activities being perpetrated in their property.
Of the duplex at Amabo Owele Court in Ogu local government area followed an incident which occurred in May this year when a young man was abducted in Enugu town and taken to the building, with a video of him sent to his family asking for ransom. Through the help of security agencies, the building was tracked, the victim rescued, and the criminals apprehended. He said cash, arms and ammunition were recovered.
The property you see us taking down right now is a place where a horrendous criminal activity happened. The government of Pitamba is concerned with security.
He warned owners of properties in Enugu to hand over the properties to trusted and reliable caretakers, as the state government will not spare any property identified as kidnappers' den.
Every landlord, once you put up a house in Enugu, will hold you responsible for any criminality that happens in your property. And once it becomes a violent crime, kidnapping, killing, in line with the law that was made by our predecessors in Enugu State, we will enforce it to the letter.
Meanwhile, the property has been confiscated by the state government as the exercise continues. In Enugu, Chika Ugu, NTA News.
This is the news desk at 3 on Nta News24. Here are major highlights of the news. Federal government activates emergency protocols, begin evacuation of Nigerians from Lebanon. Anglican primate Henry the Kuba commends federal government efforts to engage youth. Flood alert. Hydroelectric power producing areas development commission advises residents of plains in flood-prone areas of Kogi to relocate to higher grounds. Dangwa boys of Kankia local government area of Katsina State have won the local tournament of Dangwa Cup after beating Musa FC of Daura local government. The competition was played among the various teams selected from 12 local governments of Katsina State. The match was decided by penalties after the two teams played a 1-all draw. Dangwa team won the shootouts by 4-2.
The players' performance is wonderful because I assure you that among these teams, the professional team in the country are ready to choose some of the players to become some of our national team players, because they become so professional that they are being touted since they started this team for a national team and for other professional teams within the country.
And that concludes the news desk at 3 on Nta News24. Thanks for watching. I am Olajide Bello.